we are mildly interesting guys, and we talk about some stuff. So welcome to the podcast, we call it Joel the Podcast. It's Alex and it's Alex, here for Joel the Podcast. Alright,
That's a good idea.
here we go for real. Take one. We've come full circle.
It's beautiful.
Alright everyone, welcome to our first podcast, attempt number 1. I'm Alex.
And I'm Alex, and this
And
is
this is our
definitely not
podcast.
attempt number 1. What are you talking about?
Okay, and this is our podcast,
Joel.
Alright, we'll just edit that part out where you said it's not our first attempt.
It definitely wasn't our first attempt.
Alright,
I don't know why
this
you
is
would
our
say
second
that.
attempt.
This is like our third attempt or fourth attempt? I don't know.
Oh man, that was great. Welcome everybody to episode 31. Our 1 year anniversary, or at least it's being recorded on the 1 year anniversary of the first episode being recorded.
Yep.
We may put in a blooper at the end, but ironically, this is also not our first take of this podcast because I started the recording and then realized that I didn't have the clip pulled up and ready to go. So, yeah, this is take number 1. All right. Come full
We've
circle.
Come so far, but haven't moved at all.
Yeah, so I see you have a note here for episode 1. For the
Yeah,
intro.
so we've been doing that intro from the beginning, right? Like that exact same intro. I'm surprised. I don't know how we came up with that. Do you remember?
Obviously, yeah, no, I have no See, honestly, clearly before this podcast was recorded, we had decided on the whole Alex and Alex thing, but I don't remember most of it. I wonder if you still have those recordings on your phone.
No, I don't, because that's the full thing.
Well, they're lost forever, but we
That's
clearly
a
had
shame.
talked about that beforehand. What I'm honestly surprised about is that during that episode we talked about changing the name to Nathan and Alex or something.
Right.
But then I guess we just completely forgot about it because we never did.
Right.
And honestly, Joel is a much more fitting name, so.
It definitely is.
So welcome everybody. Like I said, 1 year. First off, I just wanted to start off with a disclaimer. There's 2 things that we normally do that we're not doing this episode. One is putting in no effort. We actually went back and listened to all of our episodes and took out clips, and we're planning to actually put an effort to inserting those clips into the audio so it's not just me playing them over my phone. And also, we are planning on using our phone's audio to get higher quality, which we mentioned last episode. So this is our one-time only high-effort podcast.
This will be an interesting experiment. See how much effort this actually is to do.
Yep. Because we tried to do this in episode 15, but we didn't put any effort in, so.
Right.
So here we go. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you don't, please email us at alexandalex@joelthepodcast@gmail.com. All right, and the second thing that we would normally do, but we're not doing, is being negative about our own podcast. Normally you hear a lot of humor about us saying how bad our podcast is, but this episode, us having listened to all these and come up with these clips, we're thinking we're pretty funny, for at least for today. So if you don't think we're very funny, please email us. But listen to the whole episode first.
Yep. Hopefully we can at least make a reasonable claim that sometimes we're a bit funny.
Yeah. So just a summary of what this show's gonna be. We are gonna start off with some talk about some historic, or just some events in our pod. Honestly, I meant to say this at the beginning, but this is a monumental moment in podcast history.
It truly is.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll be talking about some moments from our history and discussing them. When I say that, I mainly mean I mainly mean the bet. And after that, we'll be going into our top 10 favorite clips from our podcast so far. An interesting note is that this does not include episode 30. We didn't listen to it after we made it last week. So if you think that episode 30 has like the top 10 best and all these are worse, that's why. If I remember correctly, episode 30 was probably the funniest episode we've ever made, right?
It was pretty good, yeah. Definitely a top 10 episode.
Yeah.
So it definitely had some good clips in it.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's get started. First of all, I just wanted to tell everyone that Nathan does owe me $1.
Wait, what?
If you remember last week, he bet me $1 that the Titans would win the game.
Oh no!
And and the Titans lost the game.
Wait. What? That was the one we said wasn't actually a bet.
Yeah, I have no recollection of that.
You said it wasn't actually a bet.
I don't think so. I think we agreed on a bet and then they lost, so you owe me $1.
Alright, I'm pretty sure this is fake. But...
Alright, well, this has happened before, and I was right, so. Alright, speaking of sports, your prediction for the Super Bowl is bust since the Titans lost.
Yep.
49ers still in it. It's 49ers and Chiefs in the Super Bowl, so hopefully I will be getting that right. The Sixers won last night against the Lakers. Big win at home without without two starters, including their best player, so wow. That's good.
Purdue basketball beat Wisconsin.
Yeah, it was a much-needed win after 3 losses in the previous 4.
Right.
So good thing for Purdue to win, and hopefully they can get a win on the road on Tuesday. All right. So let's get into the bet. So
the original bet.
The original bet.
Not this fake new bet.
This real new bet. So let's see. So I guess I should just play. I listened to the episode where the bet happened, and so I'm just gonna pull up here and play that clip where we made the bet.
Okay.
Do you want to say something first?
No, I'll say something next.
All right. Here is the bet.
I bet you $1 that Kostov is going to win. That's what I'm thinking.
But the problem is to run it. No, but you were trying to run like a book, right? Like to get people to place bets with you.
No, I just wanted to place a bet with you.
Oh, $1?
$1
sure,
on Kostov.
I'll put $1 on not Kostov. Sure.
Wait a minute.
Well, that's what the bet with you. Like I'll bet $1 Kostov wins. I'll take that.
All right, $1 on Kostov. And
I'll put $1 on Albert. And
$1 on Albert, and if Carly wins,
neither of us.
We split the no dollars are exchanged.
Cents.
All right, deal.
I think that's
okay. When you play it like that, it's pretty one-sided. I think to be perfectly fair, there were other clips from that episode that support my point. Probably. So everybody who's listening to this and is now convinced by this one out of context clip, please go listen to the entire rest of the episode before you judge.
Yeah, and I honestly have to tell you sad news, which is that is the full context. I think, okay, let me just play the Nathan Owes Me $1 clip, which is the following episode, us discussing it. We can move on to the next portion of our podcast, which is our weekly reminder that you owe me $1.
That's totally fake. I changed who I was betting on.
It's recorded on here. You betting on the losing person.
I think what's recorded is me giving an example of what a bet would be because you weren't understanding. And then when it came time to really bet,
I don't think I ever said anything of the sort of me not understanding. You did not make it clear whatsoever. I'm pretty sure you said the words, I changed my bet.
I think I actually said the words, I changed my bet earlier in that same clip.
Yeah, you did.
As well.
So I think you've
there
clearly...
you go. I changed my bet. And
you can't change your bet. You saying I changed my bet acknowledges that there was a bet. You can't argue that there wasn't a bet and then say that you changed your bet.
I think this is up for debate.
All right. Well,
please,
if you have,
please leave some comments and email us and all that nonsense.
let us know who you side with: Team Sanity or Team Nathan. All right.
Keep in mind that we've already settled this bet, so nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of just said you wanted ice cream, so
yeah,
you haven't really admitted that I did owe you $1. All right, so. Correct. Wait, you did owe me $1. Whatever, I said it backwards. All right, so I guess with that piece of podcast history out of the way, let's get to our new email.
Right, so here we go. We received an email this past week. This came in a few days ago. I was gonna say how many days ago, but I don't know what today is, so I can't. Wait, no, that's fake. I totally do. It's January 26th because that is the 1 year the 1 year anniversary.
The only date in podcast history that matters, and you couldn't remember it.
And I also, after I said all that, happened to look over, and Gmail says that we received this 2 days ago, like it tells you.
Right.
How long? Anyway, this email is once again from Cephalopod Master. The subject line of this email is "You are dumbasses," and so I am really excited to really dig into the content here because
please do.
If you're gonna make that claim, you better have some serious content to back it up. So here we go. Cephalopod Master says, "Here's what I think is a better plot for Joel's Time Machine Boogaloo." And right away, that's just line number 1 of the email. I did receive some separate messages from Cephalopod Master. He let me know that is his proposed title for the movie, Joel's Time Machine Boogaloo. If you remember, we never titled it.
Yeah, I do remember, and one of the reasons is that we didn't want to give away anything, and that gives away, everything in the first title, so what a bad title, job, right. Cephalopod Master, on that title.
All right. Anyway, moving on. Here's his plot. Elongated Muskox claims he is building a time machine on a TV interview. Joel watches it on TV and laughs it off. Joel's wife and child goes out to a movie on Saturday. Joel is working on stuff at home. On TV, breaking news pops up. The movie theater exploded. His wife's phone can't be reached. Joel drives over but cannot find them. Later, Joel is so upset that he decides to kill himself. He takes a pistol and heads over to this clearing in the woods that his family used to go to picnics. Joel sees a strange sphere in the clearing and is alarmed. I want to pause here briefly to say that I'm about 45% of the way through the email here, and we've basically only just laid out the premise.
Yup.
So... Alright, moving on. Joel sees another Joel coming out of the sphere, so Joel is so shocked that he fatally shoots another Joel. Joel shivers and drops the gun.
Can I just interrupt you here for a second?
Go ahead.
Why would he shoot himself? He clearly sees that it's himself, right?
That's not clear.
Well, okay, when we get to the end, you'll see that it's not like any significant time passes between him taking the time machine back. Between then and him so he clearly still looks like himself.
So let's go through the rest of this then before we...
All right, go ahead.
Joel then walks over to another Joel's body and into the sphere to investigate. Joel realizes it's a time machine, immediately uses it to go to the theater. So there you go, you are on the right track. Joel hides the time machine on the roof and runs around to the main entrance. Elongated Muskox points a gun at him and demands his time machine back. They argue for a bit. Moments later, the theater explodes. Joel is thrown out. Everyone else is dead, including Muskox. Joel finds that the explosion has destroyed his time machine as well. Joel breaks into Elongated Muskox's facility to see if there's another one. He sees 2 time machines. Joel steals one of them. Armed guards and Muskox arrive a bit too late and frantically try to find out where and when Joel went. Joel manages to take the time machine to the time when his family just got to the theater. He thinks muskox will show up again, so he kidnaps his family to the future using his time machine. He arrives at the present in the clearing. He tells his family to hide in a large storage box and not to come out until he tells them to. Joel then steps out to check if muskox is nearby. Young Joel, who just lost his family, sees this and fatally shoots Joel. Not realizing his family is hiding in the storage box, young Joel takes the time machine to the roof of the theater a few minutes before the explosion. And that is the end of the email. And the end of the plot.
All right, let's get into this. So,
here we go.
First of all, my previous point still stands.
Yes, having read through all of that, I think everyone will agree with you. That is... This is a very short time loop, and we had discussed this,
yes,
to a great extent, I think, in our previous podcasts on the topic.
Right. Second of all, let me ask this: what is the original? What is the start of the time loop? Because in our movie, right, Joel, the first time Joel comes upon the clearing and he sees the sphere, and he just figures out how to use it, blah, blah, blah. And that starts the time loop.
Right.
But in this movie, Joel goes in the woods to kill himself and sees the time machine. But...
with himself.
Right. The time machine is only there because he himself brought it there. So how did the time machine get there? Wouldn't he have just killed himself the first time?
Right. That's a great point, because if you imagine coming into this without the loop having started, there's nothing to stop him from just shooting himself. Maybe to try and defend this plot, maybe he sees the time machine, and before he kills himself, he figures out what it is and has like some hope. And then
why would the time machine... Okay, the time machine belongs to elongated muskox, which I gotta say, I have to give credit to Cephalopod Master on this one. Elongated muskox is a great name. But yeah. The time machine belongs to him, and the only reason it's in the woods there is because Joel brought it there. So the first time there, it wouldn't be in the woods there. So anyway, I think we need to get to the real giant plot hole in this entire story, which is that elongated muskox dies in the explosion at the theater, but then the rest of the plot revolves around Joel running away from elongated muskox. Right. But he's dead, so that can't happen. So, Cephalopod Master, titling this with "You are dumbasses." You are a dumbass, Cephalopod Master. So please email us with an apology. And our movie was clearly much better.
I look forward to reading your apology in the next...
The subject better be "I am a dumbass." It better be.
Okay. I do want to say that I appreciate receiving this email.
Yeah.
It's glad that somebody has engaged with our content and you know,
Good job saying that, because I don't want to discourage you from emailing us, Cephalopod Master.
Right. The real problem is you called us dumbasses and then
came up with a nonsense plot. So, right. All right. But yes, thank you for the email. We do love receiving. If you don't want us to roast you in the future, don't call us dumbasses. All right.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. So. Our next topic here is the theme song. So the theme song was introduced in episode 15, and written and performed by us, obviously. Excuse me. And two weeks ago, I said that I had some thoughts on the theme song, but the problem was that I didn't want to say them until this episode. So obviously by now I've forgotten what those comments were. But
so you're gonna make up some new comments.
Well, I don't really have any comments. I wanted to play a one of my outtakes from me recording the vocals for the song.
All right.
Because I don't know if we probably discussed it on the podcast. The amount of time that you spent on that last arpeggio where I had to hold the note was pretty long, and there are some takes of me running out of breath at the end of it. So I just wanted to play one of... Oh, I guess I can't play it while my phone is recording.
Oh, no.
Well, okay,
Just-
well...
let's pause for a little bit here, and then you just send me the
I'll
clip.
send it to you,
and
and we'll
after a
insert
few
it.
seconds, let's just start reacting as if we had just heard that clip.
Right, okay, let's do it. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, wow, that was, so yeah, it wasn't as funny as maybe you were expecting, but, you can definitely hear my voice, just giving up at the end of that clip there.
Yeah, I gotta say that I think probably I've said this already before as well, but the recording that I ended up sending to you as the final cut, I actually sped up that section
Right.
much quicker than I had done in a lot
Yeah.
of my other takes. So
Yeah, we did
could have
discuss
been much
this.
worse.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep.
All right. So, cool. All right. So, what a hilarious clip. All right.
Really high quality production here.
All right. So, let's get into it. We are about to start our top 10 favorite clips from our show. And if you disagree or have your own top 10, please email us with what they are. But we think these ones are pretty funny. And so here we go. So 10 was your pick, so why don't you talk about that?
All right, so this is a clip from episode 8. We're on the road. We're headed down to Tennessee, and we happen to be recording a podcast along the way. And just kind of complete coincidence, we switched up our intros a little bit. And then as it happened, there were a couple instances on the drive that caused us to decide to do our intro again. It wasn't like we didn't stop and then start again.
We did once.
We did once, but that was not. I don't think that was actually the cause of any of these. So
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was. Maybe
Okay.
I'm wrong.
Well,
but
so what
here
you're
we
gonna
go.
hear? What you're gonna hear is 3 clips spliced together,
Right.
one after
so
the other.
This is
So-
just back to back all of the bits.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Alex,
I'm Alex.
and this is our podcast.
Alex. Oh.
What? Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Alex,
I'm Alex.
and this is our podcast.
Joel.
Alex. Wait a minute.
Are you kidding me?
I've heard them all. Oh. Your phone fell. Now it's back.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Alex, and this is our podcast, Alex.
So I just want to emphasize that was all unplanned.
Yeah.
Really worked out great.
Yeah, I gotta say, your delivery of "Are you kidding me?" is pretty good there.
Yeah, the reactions really sell that clip for me.
Yeah, but an interesting thing I noticed is that on the third intro there, you actually started, which is unusual.
Right, we kind of saved it at the end by just saying the entire last part together.
Right.
Which I think is good in the fact that like I wouldn't have really known what to do if I continued on. I mean, like, not really, right? But that's just pretty unfamiliar for me. So
Right. Yeah, it's weird, and I think we
Right.
discussed that a little bit in the car ride.
Yeah.
Or about when we were talking about our idea for the car ride to Purdue for our live show.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, there you go. Number 10, Alex/Joel. I guess is what we named it. So
Right. I just kind of mix up intros.
yep. All right. So here we go. Number 9 brings us all the way back to episode 1. In this, so this comes on the tail end of Nathan reading reciting a Wikipedia article 5 seconds after Joel is reading it, and he messes up a little bit here at the end. This is right after he messes up. So here we go. Oh no, Robert! That was actually pretty good.
Menzies defeated
Yeah, we don't
the
care,
opposition Labor Party held by HV Evet, despite
My
losing
God, Joel,
the
we're
2
losing
party
listeners from you reading.
I can see the subscriber count dropping as we speak.
From 4 to
federal
3.
election that future Prime Minister
Two of them are our
Joe
parents.
Whitlam contested as a member of the
Two of them were my
parliament,
parents.
having
One of them stopped
entered
listening. It was so bad.
I think my favorite part about this clip is that it's very realistic. My parents don't listen to this podcast, and they probably would stop listening if they did.
Yeah, but I do want to say, after this clip, I kind of said something mean about Nathan's dad, that he was the one that stopped listening, so I apologize, Nathan's dad, if you're listening to this. You're a pretty cool guy.
All right.
All right.
It's also interesting to note that that clip actually features Joel in a pretty major speaking role, which is pretty unusual.
Yeah, I think that was mentioned at some point in the episodes. Somebody said, like, who know? I said, oh no, right after this, I think I said, who knew we could get Joel to speak so much.
Right. Yeah.
So, also, I think it's a really remarkable accomplishment that we've come so far and now have twice as many subscribers as we thought we would have in that episode. Even though that was a complete joke. Here we are with 8 subscribers living the high life.
Wait, we have 8 subscribers? I thought we had more than that now.
Oh, maybe we have even more than that, and I just...
Let's do a quick... I think
we have 12 subscribers.
Wait, whoa. We have 12 subscribers?
Yes.
That means there's 10 subscribers that aren't you and me, right?
We are so successful.
Oh, man. See, this was a joke in one of our earlier podcasts that we would have to get to 12 because we wanted to get to 10, but there was both of us.
Right.
And I genuinely at that point never thought it would happen.
Yeah, if you're one of our subscribers, please email us. I guess just say why you subscribed. I guess we only know about 2 people that actually listen to each episode, but hopefully more people do. So thank you to all of our 12 subscribers. And if you're listening to this in the future when we have hundreds, if not thousands of subscribers, what a historic moment. What a monumental moment
Absolutely
back in podcast history where we only had 12. So,
yeah.
All right. So let me go back to my notes here, and we'll move on to the next clip. Why don't you introduce the next clip?
All right, our next clip comes from episode 3. We're talking about I think just a 2-liter bottle of Diet Coke.
Yeah, I don't think this one needs very much context.
Yeah, that's about it.
So here you go.
This is a lot of Diet Coke. For the listeners at home, I just found a 2-liter of Diet Coke.
Is it opened?
It does not seem to be opened.
Yeah, it looks like this not broken there. So. Nice. I guess you just own that now.
Right. That's what they say, right?
If you find it, you own it.
Diet Coke, don't lie.
Gotta say, 2 independently funny quotes at the end there.
Yep. Turns out in our early days of the podcast, not only were we giving great advice about selling babies, we were also giving just proverbs to live by. Diet Coke, don't lie.
If you find it, you own it. Yeah,
excellent advice.
And also in the early days of the podcast, we had background noise. Woo! Quality,
Yeah.
quality podcast sound quality. Quality podcast sound quality. High quality sound. No. Good sound quality. There you go.
All right. Nice.
Yeah, thanks to new technology, today's our first episode with no background noise and high quality sound quality.
Well, maybe.
Well, yeah, if it works out.
If
You know what? This is gonna sound really.
It's gonna sound. It's gonna sound different, maybe.
Yeah, it's gonna sound really bad if I keep saying this and then we just end up going with the original Skype audio anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Wow, we are really going through these very quickly. All right, we're gonna take a break in the top 10. For me to give an honorable mention to a quote. This quote comes from episode 15. No, what episode does this come from? This comes from episode
17?
It should be in here. Success. Where is it?
It's 17.
Okay, thank you. episode 17. So this is us reacting to getting when Maelstrom 1997 subscribed to our channel. And we didn't know who it was at the time. And also a quick note: this is 2 clips spliced together. So when you hear Nathan say something like, "Now that I mention David," whatever he says, and you may be thinking he didn't just mention that. Well, in real time he did just mention that, but this is kind of just skipped all that stuff. So here you go, honorable mention for success. This is the most surreal thing ever.
Right? This must be what it feels like right before you're wildly successful. We need to appreciate this moment because soon it's going to get way crazier.
Right.
We'll be so much busier with this podcast. You know, it won't feel like a little for fun thing we do anymore. It'll be our full-time jobs. Now that I mentioned that David sent me a Venmo, though, I've got to check what day that was. Because if it was the same day as this subscriber might be David.
Maelstrom, if you're David, email us at alexandalex@joelthepodcast@gmail.com. Remember 1 minute ago when we thought we were successful?
Yeah, I do. That was a good... No, wait! It was 4 days ago that I sent David the link to our channel, and 5 days ago that this person subscribed.
Holy shit.
We're back.
We're so successful.
Of course, it did turn out that Maelstrom is David.
Right.
But I mean, as we just mentioned, we have 12 subscribers now, so
Yeah,
obviously we are wildly successful.
Yeah, we've made it pretty much, I think.
Yeah. Only
so
another day or two, I expect the checks to start rolling in. And
so Maelstrom, thank you for subscribing. We do appreciate it.
Please continue to email us.
Yeah.
I know you've sent some quality emails so far, and one email where you called us dumbasses.
Yep.
So.
I don't know if we actually... I guess we basically just revealed that Maelstrom is Cephalopod Master, is David, but I don't know if we mentioned that before, but there you go.
I think we had at least connected Cephalopod and Maelstrom.
Yes.
But I don't know.
Yep. So yep. Thank you, David. And that brings us my honorable mention for success there. All right. So back to the top 10. Number 7. This clip comes from episode 27. It is us summarizing the movie we made from Ben's suggestion. So actually, I'll just play it here, and then we can talk about it afterwards. It's a 1 hour movie. 30 minutes of it are studio intros and advertisements, and the other 30 minutes are just like him. It's like 10 minutes of intro and then 20 minutes of him just killing a bunch of bad guys.
All of whom are Johnny Depp.
The Johnny Depp bit gets me.
Yeah, it's just like, it was funny in the beginning, then back to normal, and then just that bit at the end really closes it out.
I think it's kind of underappreciated that the first 30 minutes of the 1 hour movie are studio introductions.
Right, like, it's like, I think I mentioned earlier in the podcast, it's like, you get the Fox thing, and then the Walden Media thing, and then the Universal thing, and then the Warner Bros. It's just like every studio.
Every one of them.
And also advertisements. Yeah, so...
Like commercial breaks in the studio introductions.
Yep, so I listened to this episode about a month after we recorded it, and I really had no memory of this movie. And all the parts where we actually come up with this stuff to put in the movie, it's pretty funny. So if you're listening to that and you're like, what were they talking about at that time? So just go listen back to it. It's pretty good. Also, that clip is definitely 10% funnier from Ben laughing throughout the entirety of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a lot of that in that episode, so if you like Ben laughing, email us, and we'll get him on the podcast again just to laugh. All right.
If you're Ben, please email us some laughter.
Yeah, please. In episode 1, we said we wanted a laugh track, so. So yeah, I guess we'll just splice it over things that we think should be funny.
Right.
All right.
It'll probably just be over the entire, like underneath the entire podcast and modulate the volume depending on how funny we are at the moment.
Right.
So it's just
Just
constant,
1
but
hour of-
sometimes it's really.
All right.
Man, that'd be a lot of work. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah, that is not going to happen. All right, give us clip number 6 here.
Clip number 6. This is from episode 4. Once again, we're in the lounge, but this time the background noise people are actually listening to us and laughing at my jokes. So I'm pretty.
So that's why it's in the top 10.
That's why it's in the top 10. People, I wanted this confirmation that I was actually funny, and this is a clip of other people laughing at me.
Audio
so
proof that I am funny. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
What's significant about this Duke team? It's, you know,
It was really good.
They were really good, and it's not like they were the top recruits. Were they the top recruits?
Yeah, they were the top recruits.
Well, if you if you think of them as not being the top recruits, though, it's really impressive.
Ah,
what
that's
they
a good
managed to
point.
accomplish.
No, actually, I didn't even think of it that way. Not sure why.
So when we were, I mentioned this before we started recording, but when we were going back and listening to these, this was one of the clips that I set up, and I almost, like, when I heard the top recruits comment, that little joke, I almost cut it right there because that was pretty good. But I think that carrying on the rest of that clip really sets it as one of our top 10. Plus, there were people laughing at me. So
Yeah, so that's like the a secondary reason, yeah. But the main reason is because it was funny.
the main
Yeah.
reason, yes,
Definitely is
absolutely
nothing. Actually, you know what? Nothing to do with the fact that other people were laughing at you.
right.
Um,
But it
So,
helps. Please
yeah.
laugh at me. If you're at home right now listening to this and there's nobody around, please take a moment to laugh at me. If there's people around, that might be a little bit weird, but I guess, like, you know, take that opportunity to laugh and then share the podcast with them.
yeah, I think if you're listening to something and you laugh, I don't. It's usually not. It depends on the situation, obviously. Like
Right.
if you're you know at church or something, you know, maybe,
If you're listening to our podcast at church, I mean, maybe you shouldn't do that.
If
but I
you're
don't know.
listening
I'm
to our
not gonna judge.
podcast at church, please email us at alexandalexatjoelthepodcast@gmail.com. We don't really want to talk about religion on this show, but you know, we do want to hear from our listeners. So
Yep.
all right, so cool. That is number 6. Honestly, I actually have to say, when I saw that you had a clip titled Duke, I thought it was going to be something related to our whole the Golden State Warriors being underdogs thing.
Oh yeah.
Which was kind of funny, but it was not. So good clip. All right.
Turns out we have 2 funny Duke clips.
Yeah. Well, I
So-
don't know if we actually did mention Duke in that previous part. I didn't listen to that episode, but
Maybe we did, maybe we didn't.
yep. All right.
Go
So
ahead and listen to that episode for us and let us know.
yep. Send us an email. All right. This next clip, this comes from episode 12. This is I won't say much except that this clip really exemplifies what our podcast is all about. So here we go. Well, do you think this video will be posted before we actually decide on a movie?
I can, now that I have my laptop out and, well, no, the cable to plug my phone into the laptop isn't within arm's reach. Yeah, it's not going to be done until next week.
Oh man, just to jump from the cable to plug my phone to my laptop's not here. It won't be done till next week.
Yep.
That
that
is.
It's really funny because it's 100%
Because it's so
true.
sad.
Oh man. Yeah, to this day, like, I think we've mentioned a few times on the podcast, like, we're trying to get better at posting on time and all that kind of nonsense. it really isn't going to happen until we get emails from people asking us to be better. So
Yeah. What would you say the over-under on this episode is?
when it's going to get posted?
How long from us recording it right now will it be posted?
So here's the thing. I'm pretty excited about this podcast. I think
Okay.
it's been fun so far. I think it's going to continue to be fun. However, the problem is we've committed to more editing work.
Right.
Which means I'm going to need to like, you know, cut all these clips in and all that stuff. So here's the two ways it can go, and I think it's going to be pretty obvious to you which way it's actually going to go.
I
Number-
already know.
Number one, we can wrap this up, you know, finish our recordings today, get everything sent over, and I can just, you know, like knock it out tonight because I'm in the mood to, you know, work on our podcast. Or it can get put off as I slowly decide, it's not really worth editing that much in. Like, maybe I'll just use your phone audio for the clips. Maybe I won't bother with our fancy audio recording nonsense. Maybe I'll just post this 100% raw clip to YouTube. And that'll happen in about 3 weeks.
Yeah. So please don't do that. I spent a lot of time actually clipping out these clips, and I know you did too. So
Yep.
I'll be
Honestly, what gives me hope is the fact that we both have already done that. I think, you know, that was the hard part. That was the actual, like, work.
right.
Now it's just kind of drag and drop. I genuinely, like, I don't know if it'll be today. That might be a bit of a stretch, but, like, maybe
Right.
within the next week sometime I will
All right.
actually.
Excellent. Yeah. So, all right. So if you're listening to this in 1 month when it's actually posted, please email us. Actually, when you said that you were telling the whole option where you like knock it out tonight,
Yeah.
I was thinking back to one of the other clips we pulled but didn't use, where it's us saying, "Oh, we could actually put an effort to finding out information about this," and then we both just laugh.
Yeah, yet another perfectly exemplified trait of our podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. This is a whole new world of
Yeah.
effort. I don't know that we'll do this too much more in the future unless
Yeah.
this goes over really well or something.
Right. All right. Here we go. Down to number 4, and this is a quality clip, I gotta say. And I don't think it needs much introduction, but this is from episode 14, which is probably our best episode. So here you go. Number 4 is this clip. All right, here we are. What do you choose? Punch a baby or get punched by Chet?
I know it's horrible, but I'm still leaning punch a baby because getting punched every day, like, that can't be good for you.
Honestly,
I think a baby, like, saying this out loud is pretty rough, but I think a baby can get over it.
I started laughing right as you started to saying this out loud is pretty bad because I knew it was coming.
Yep.
Oh man, a baby can get over it. What a great clip.
So as we were reviewing these to prepare for this episode, my note here is I think this may be the hottest take of our entire podcast. If you can think of any take from our podcast that is hotter than this one, please email us at alexandalex@joelthepodcast@gmail.com. Let us know when we have been more controversial than saying that babies can get over being punched at full force.
Here's a hotter take that we made. Titans will win the Super Bowl.
Darn.
Oh yeah, and also my take of Purdue will make the Sweet 16 is also not looking so hot right now.
Yeah, it's pretty questionable, and I will remind you that one we for real bet $1 on,
Yeah,
unlike
that
the
is-
fake Titans thing.
I'm not looking forward to that. Right now, Purdue's not projected to be in the tournament if it started today. So,
Right.
all right. Well, yeah.
The Big Ten's going to be brutal. We'll see if they pull it out.
Right. All right. So that is number 4. Baby can get over it. We're gonna pause right here for Nathan's honorable mention. So why don't you introduce this?
Yeah, so my honorable mention comes from our very last episode that we did include in consideration. That would be episode 29, which is when we were wrapping up our movie about the time machine, which we talked about earlier in this episode with Cephalopod's email. But this is probably one of the high points of the movie. It didn't actually, make it into the final cut, but we'll call it an alternate ending just in case we didn't actually finish what we were talking about. So let's go ahead and play this real quick.
What if a meteor lands in his clearing? A smallish meteor that doesn't just kill him immediately.
he's sitting around for 40 years, like, if only I had enough energy, and then this meteor just obliterates. And then there's a voiceover. Ironically, that was exactly enough energy if he had been able to harness that somehow.
Ironically, his dead body was then transported back in time. That is a good clip.
Your voiceover quote was definitely better than mine. That was high quality. Ironically, his dead body is transported exactly 40 years into the past.
Right as his family was killed. All right.
That's actually what causes the auto accident or whatever. His dead body just appears.
Obviously, that makes no sense because of the time loop, but
right.
But still, that is the alternate ending. If you're a movie producer listening to this, and you want to buy the rights to that movie, we'll only agree if you agree to film that ending.
Yeah.
Where the first time he finds it, he waits 40 years, and his dead body gets transported back to his and kills his family. All right. Honestly,
oh man.
Now having listened to all those clips and then that one again, I think that one might belong in the top 10 again. All right, good honorable mention.
Yep. All right.
We are down to the top 3, so these are
definitely a step above the rest. I gotta say, these weren't when we made our top 10s. These weren't like our unanimous picks, but like listening back again,
well,
it's hard to argue.
Number 1 was our unanimous top pick.
Number 1 was our unanimous pick.
But yeah, here you go. This is so number 3. This comes from episode 15. Also, this is I'm not gonna preface this with anything. So here we go. Number 3.
If you've been listening and you don't know our email by now, send us an email and let us know about your experience having the worst comprehension of anyone.
How the hell that could have happened? I gotta say, that delivery of if you don't know your email, send us an email. That is gold. That is pure gold. That is so funny.
I'm glad you said that because I really want to say that as well, but it would seem, kind of arrogant coming from me.
Right. I also want to apologize for kind of talking over you at the end of that clip there, because what you were saying was funnier. So, all right, yeah, that. If you think that's funny, wait till number 2 and number 1. All right.
Yep. And here they are, number 2 and number 1.
Yeah. All right.
Immediately.
Let's take a 3-hour break.
We're just going to pause at this point to replay the entire podcast we've recorded so far again.
Here is episodes 1 to 30, unabridged in order.
Here's our real highlights. We're just always good.
Yeah, number 1 is just the entire, all of the audio. All right. All right.
All right, we're down to clip number 2. I don't really know how to introduce this one either. Let's just play it.
So the context of this one is we were saying that Joel should email us and he should attach a picture of himself so we would know that it was him and not like a fake email. So here's the clip.
Yep.
Well, you don't have to be a hacker to send a fake email.
How do you send a fake email?
You just send an email and then sign it Joel.
Whoa. Are you a hacker?
Shit, you're on to me.
That sounds like something only a hacker would know how to do.
I gotta say, now that we've listened to that clip like 4 times, I think it's actually funnier. Like the part where there's just a pause and then you say, "How do you send a fake email?" Like completely like seriously. It's just hilarious.
Just completely genuine question.
How do you send a fake email? I can't even deliver it
You're
right.
listening to this and you know how to send a fake email. Please email us.
Wait a minute.
Oh
no. Yeah.
All right.
I gotta know what was going through your head when you were saying how do you send a fake email?
So this is also from episode 15, which was recorded like 6 months ago at this point. I'm not sure the exact, maybe 5 months ago. I would say that somebody would be able to tell us, but it was probably posted like last week or something, so.
Yup.
But so anyway, regardless, it's been so long, so I can't say this for sure, but I feel like what I was thinking at that point was, like, here I am sitting in Gmail, I'm trying to fake an email somehow. There's not like a setting for that. You can't just click the fake email button.
You know what? That's fair. Everybody who's listening, please email Google and tell them to add a fake email button to Gmail. If enough of our listeners do it, then we can create change, just like changing the rules of basketball.
Right. Do you think we'll change basketball or Google first?
I think we'd be more likely to change Google than basketball.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. Huh. Actually, that's a good question. Like, so I initially say Google because, it's easier to influence, like, a corporation who just wants to make money over, like, someone organization who mostly, I mean, they obviously care about money, but they also might care about, the integrity of the game or whatever. But basketball changing, no, actually, they're both equally unlikely, so I'm going to go with Google. Yep, Google. I was going to say that it was more unlikely that they would add a button that says fake email than that they would exclude whatever parts of a basketball game we didn't want, but actually it's not more unlikely. It's probably actually less unlikely. All right.
Yeah, I think a simple software change that doesn't really need to do anything is more likely than changing the entire rules of basketball so that Purdue sports can't lose.
Right.
Or Purdue basketball, really. I don't know why I said Purdue sports. If we want to target a bunch of organizations, that'd be cool with me, too.
I mean, honestly, it's still the NCAA who controls football, so...
That's true. If you have not yet emailed the NCAA, please include other sports in your emails.
Yes. Yeah, if you're listening to this, write a script to spam the NCAA with emails.
If you're going to do that, though, don't CC us, like I said, because I don't want to get a bunch of emails.
Right,
I just want them to. So maybe just send us a separate email that says you did that.
Right, send us yeah, exactly. Subject line, I am not a dumbass.
I am actually slightly clever for figuring out how to make this Python thing that emails the NCAA a bunch.
Import send email. Thank you, Python.
That's probably not too far off, honestly. All right.
Yep. All right,
it's the
so
moment
here we
of
are.
Truth.
Let's just preface this. So when we made our top 10, we both had 6 that were common between the two. And so the 2 through 6 you heard were common, but they weren't like all in the same place for each other. Like I had one at 3 that you had at 6 or whatever.
Right.
This clip we both ranked as the number 1 best clip from our show.
Right.
And that being said, I guess it's probably going to be, there's no way to be but disappointing at this point. But I think it's pretty funny. You think it's pretty funny, and In this clip, we're talking about Katie's boss who wants to buy her baby. So here we go. The number one overall best clip, according to us, is this. Guy's clearly just a baby broker. He buys like third.
He's flipping babies.
Right, so he buys like
Scum
third-rate
babies.
babies, and like sells and like fixes them up and sells them for like a premium price. So, what?
Now, what I don't understand there, though, is who's in the baby market. Nobody should be in the baby market. The smart money is in money.
Smart money's in money.
Listen up, investors. Get money. Money is worth the most money of any investment that you could have.
Which is worth more, one money or one baby? Let me tell you the answer: one money every time.
Every time. Every day of the week.
Oh my goodness.
That's just, I gotta say that, so that was from episode 1. The delivery and chemistry we had even back then, like, I mean, part of it I think is that we were in the same place at that point too.
Right.
Which made it easier, but man, we've made a lot of jokes about this podcast and how it's not that good, but man.
This clip is so fun. We're gonna be quoting this for years. Listen up, investors. Get money.
Money is worth the most money of any investment.
What a quality clip. I gotta say, you were asking for a hotter take than a baby can get over it. Money is worth the most money is definitely the hottest take of the podcast.
Fair enough.
Man, it's like, with this being our number one clip in episode 1, it's really just all been downhill from this point.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways that's definitely true. I think we will probably never match that high, but
Yep. So
I hope the rest of the top 10 has shown you that we can come close.
Yep. So yes, those are our top 10 funniest clips. Thank you for listening, everybody. If you have one that you thought was funnier than any of those, please email us, or that you thought our order was bad, or any thoughts on the funniest clips, please email us. Right. So here's something we need to do right now, which is come up with an Olive Garden quote.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, well, okay, don't feel upset because we just went through 10 funny clips. Or actually 12.
Okay.
So which one of these would be
True.
the best
That's
if you
fair.
add here in the middle of this Olive Garden to the end of it?
Okay, now that you've said that, I actually want to pull a clip that we did not play, but I think is very good. My nomination for the best Olive Garden quote that we have made so far is, "But unfortunately, my nipples are useless here in the middle of this Olive Garden."
Okay, last week I said something that was a quote that we had used. Was that it? Do you remember?
Did I just reuse last week's Olive Garden quote?
Right, so last week, for the Olive Garden quote, I picked out one of the quotes that we had been working on.
Oh man,
But I don't remember if that was
I
it.
just capped off our 1-year highlights by accidentally ripping off the exact same thing we did last week.
Honestly, that's perfect. So we're not picking a new quote. That's it. Unfortunately, my nipples are useless here in the middle of this Olive Garden. So
All right, let's close out our episode this way. I know we didn't actually discuss this before the podcast, but it might be fun. We just reflected on our past year. What do you think this next year is gonna bring for Joel the podcast?
well, I'm hoping. Okay, I expect probably sometime in the next year we'll have Cephalopod Master on the podcast.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Since
Please email us your availability.
Yeah, well, we'd be happy to have you on. So that will since he's the only other actual listener that hasn't been on the podcast.
If you're a listener who hasn't interacted with us thus far, but you still do want to be on the podcast, we'd be happy to have you as well.
Yes.
Just send us an email, alexandalex@joelthepodcast@gmail.com. I feel like a lot of our jokes we just say email us and don't include the email anymore?
Well, that's because we've
Um,
said it so many times.
But what if they don't?
Well, I mean, okay,
remember?
I said it at the beginning of the first time I said email us this episode. So if anyone was
As long
this
as
is
we say it once per episode, I
right,
guess.
someone
That's fine.
can find it.
All right.
Um,
Maybe I should start linking. You know what? I should absolutely start linking our email in the YouTube descriptions as well.
Yes.
Just to be safe.
right. So as for something else, I'm expecting that we will have another live show sometime in
Right.
the next year.
Right?
So that'll be good. Look forward to that. Hopefully, we'll come up with a movie as funny, if not funnier, than Sherlock Bolton's XXX.
I don't have much hope that we can ever make a funnier movie than Sherlock Holmes, but I've been very surprised with our continued success on this podcast at topping ourselves. I think this top 10 is a demonstration of that.
Yep. And for
You know what the real shame is? That we couldn't include any of the Sherlock Holmes moments in the top
Yes,
10 because
that-
the part
that-
of that episode that's recorded is
not that
the
good.
slow beginning part.
Right. So
So-
that is a true tragedy. You're right about that.
Right. Our
Uh,
true top 10 must certainly include a Sherlock Holmes
Right.
quote, but
I'm
sadly we'll never know what it was.
I'm predicting that we will in fact continue podcasting for the entire next year. So
I think so.
1 year from now we will still be podcasting. And
We'll have
then
our 2-year special, which my personal goal is that our 2-year special coincides, fairly closely with our 1 million subscriber special. That way we don't have to put in too much extra effort.
right, so that actually brings me to my final prediction. This is my bold prediction. We will have 20 subscribers by this
Alright.
time next year.
That's, it has to be exponential growth, right? Like YouTube subscriptions.
Sorry, have you paid any attention to the rate at which we've been getting subscribers? Because it's definitely not been exponential.
Well, it doesn't seem like it so far because we're at the bottom of the exponent, Like if you take away the exponent from the exponential and just look at the bottom part, that's a linear turn.
Right, but this bottom part has taken a year, so how long is it going to take for it to get to the high part?
Well, we went from not having a YouTube channel to having 10 subscribers within a year. Furthermore, we did that within like 6 months because the first 6 months of the podcast, we didn't have the YouTube channel.
Right.
So for 6 months, there was literally nothing and no way to do anything. The next 6 months, we've jumped up to 10 subscribers that aren't you or me.
That's true, so...
So next year, the ceiling is the roof. Who knows?
That's quality.
I stole that quote, by the way. I think
Yeah.
Michael
The
Jordan or
ceiling is the
somebody said
roof,
that.
here in the middle of this Olive Garden. Alright.
Cool. Yeah, I
also-
totally agree with your takes so far. Yeah. Also.
Alright, so I was going to say also something else, but let's hear your predictions for the coming year.
All right, here's my predictions for the coming year. I just said that I agreed with your things. I want to make an extra condition on your live show prediction. I think we'll have more than one live show. And I would like to say that we'll have a live show that is not in your current location, my current location, or Purdue. I think we'll find a unique place within the next year to go, and we'll podcast from there.
Yep. Alright, that's a good prediction.
That's my big plan.
Alright, do you have any other predictions?
I think 20 subscribers is a bit bold, but I like it. I mean, I'm really struggling to say a smaller number than 20, to be honest. Like, I don't want to say 20 because that seems astronomically large from our very limited current perspective. But, like, if 15, I think we could hit 15.
Alright.
16, I think we can hit 16.
Alright, is that your bold prediction, or do you have a separate bold prediction?
All right, so my separate bold prediction, I think we're gonna start. Okay. Once we release the commercial, which I think we've mentioned before, so this isn't me just spoiling everything right now. I hope. Once we release that, there will be a nice like entry level, not an hour long video
that people can watch and kind of like, you know,
Right.
get a feel for, maybe decide they want to dive deeper. I understand it's a big commitment to see an hour-long YouTube video pop up. Even YouTubers that I'm already subscribed to, if I see their videos are over an hour long, I'm like, no, I mean, maybe later, right? Like, I'm not going to say I don't watch those videos, because I definitely do, but there's definitely a sweet spot around like 10, 20 minutes that, I mean, I don't even think about it at that point.
Right.
So,
All right, so there's your bold prediction. Oh, wait. Was that your bold prediction?
I don't
What was-
think I ever made an actual
All right,
prediction. I think
make
I
a
was-
bold
I think I was-
prediction.
I think I was qualifying why I was going to make the prediction that 20 is my legit prediction, but like I think we could hit 50
Wow.
once we start.
That
you
is,
know, we'll post a shorter video, get a way to draw people in. Maybe within the next year we'll figure out some way to, like, you know, shorten our content down a little bit somehow. Like, I definitely do like our current format. Like, I don't want to shake it up too much, but maybe we could do some other stuff. I don't know.
right. I think we can improve over time just by seeing what works
Right.
and getting feedback from our actual listeners, which we now have.
Absolutely. So yeah, thanks to you listeners that have emailed us feedback, except for when your feedback calls us dumbasses. Please don't do that.
Actually,
it hurts
it's-
our feelings, and
It's actually not that bad to call us dumbasses, but when your email is just bad after calling us a dumbass, that's really where the issue is.
yeah. So yeah, just keep the feedback coming. We promise not to just absolutely roast everybody who sends us an email. I know that, you know.
Right. All right.
But-
Yes. So the other thing I wanted to mention, which I guess you already mentioned, is the commercial.
Uh-huh.
So we have several kind of one-liner-ish clips that we didn't put in this episode, but they will be in the commercial. So if you're looking to, I mean, if you're a fan of the podcast, obviously listen to the commercial because it'll hopefully be funny. But if you're looking to spread, you know, the podcast to other people, maybe show them the commercial first and see if they like it. And then please point them to a good video.
Like this one.
Yeah, like this one, or 14, or 1. So, because I really don't want someone to start listening on, like, an episode that's like the New England Patriots 2007 Super Bowl highlights, which is not a good episode. So,
Right. Several funny clips from there, honestly. So we'll post the link to the full, like, highlight clips folder that we generated, or at least some of them, maybe the top 10 clips, so you can go back and listen to those. I don't know what exactly we'll do, but
we'll
there's
discuss it.
There's lots of fun clips that exist. So, from all podcasts, we like them all equally much, except for the bad ones.
Yeah, and we like the good ones more.
And we like the good ones more, of course. But other than that, they're all equal.
Right. Yeah. All right. We're kind of rambling here. We need to wrap it up.
All right.
So thank you for listening, everybody. Seriously,
It's been
really
a great year. This
it's
is really fun to do, and there's
Yeah.
really no reason for us to do it, but we're going to continue doing it anyway because we like to, and
It's
some
not-
of you seem to also like it. So
Yeah. So yes, thank you. Here's for 1 year. See you again in 1 year.
but
I'm out.
also before that,
Right, but just kind of saying that we'll be doing. Yeah.
we will see them again. And yeah.
Okay,
no,
we're
you're right.
ending the podcast. I'm Alex,
I'm Alex.
and this has been Joel. What a shit show.